focused on projects, a range of scales, so from the smallest furniture to broad urban design, but all of them have work across the theme of social development. I've chosen Joburg as my place of work mainly because there are so many urban problems that can be solved, I believe, through clever architecture and urban design. So we're lucky. We're lucky to be a very poorly planned and ugly city that welcomes change with open arms. And it's the business center of the country. So there's generally easier ways to find finance for impactful projects in other places in the country. In overcoming spatial injustice, our first sort of point of impact is always in the public realm. So we think any good project has to start with a clear agenda about how it's going to interface public and private, and from there on, I think it comes down to context, where we're actually acting. So where in the city is the most need, and what are we doing? So what is the program? So we're not really that interested in projects that there's pretty much no chance of having any social impact. And I can quite honestly say private houses, for example, are something that really have no interest to me. The Trevor Huddleston Memorial Building is a project that I've been working on for probably the last 5 years. We started as community participation consultants working for the NGO, and then slowly grew into this role of architects of this new building. And from the beginning, we conceptualized this idea that the building an element of the building could somehow remember the urban social history of Sophiatown. And we thought that the sunscreen could double up as a map of old Sophiatown. And there was this idea that former residents who were forcibly removed in the 1950s could come and hang a plaque there, a lock up, with like using a padlock, and then go away and take a key, and then new residents or other people could come in and see that and do the same thing. It was this idea that sort of developed but never actually reached fruition because the project had a very limited budget. Design Indaba generously agreed to fund the screen. I think the future of Johannesburg lies in a much greater cohesion between what's happening in the private sector in terms of massive commercial development, and this kind of this need for this attempt that the city and the city government is making to try and restructure the apartheid city or the apartheid planning. So currently these are two very strong forces. The private sector is probably a little bit stronger, but if these two things come together, this idea of active development of public space, proliferation of new social infrastructure facilities, they talk to the guys building the big shopping malls. I think we've got a great opportunity, and I think the one sector that we're really missing the opportunity to use as a force of social change is cultural buildings. Imagine when somebody built a new kind of shopping center or commercial district, they left out one of the urban dedicated to an office building and built a new kick-ass art museum or opera house or something like that, and combined that with a massive new park or public space. Then I think and then at the same time connected it to one of our new Gautrain stations. The future is got to lie there in these realizations that transformation is possible if you make the right connections.